So, oh, I can hear myself. I couldn't carrot for the snowman's body, and I'm having to voice over this because my husband changed out my computer and it was a double voice thing and it sounded really weird. So I just punched out the whole snowman, and then I'm going to put it on this other strip because I do have grow out on those 2 fingers. So there's like 2 or 3 fingers that I need to change my strip on. So I thought it would be easier to put the snowman on the strip before I put it on, since I had so much grow out. And then I think I have a chip on one of my nails. I recorded this a while ago, you guys. I've changed my nails like twice since then. But this summer I did a snowman for Christmas in July, and I didn't record it. And I told you guys that I would record it at some point. So I'm just going to cut off his hat. So I have Couldn't Care Less for the snowman, and I have, I believe, Gaelic Greenery that I'm going to cut for his hat and his scarf. And I actually think the one that I did in the summer turned out a lot better, but that's okay. And I always like my snowmen or my creatures facing a certain way so that the tip of my nail is the bottom of the nail instead of the cuticle being the bottom of the nail. And these are itty bitty. So tweezers are a nice tool to have when you do this. So again, this is Gaelic Greenery, and we just do the same thing for the hat. Just use the same exact punch, cut out the hat. And then I'll use the same strip for the scarf. So I just cut off the excess so that I only have his hat. And then I'll place that right on top of the snowman's head. I just place that right on his head. If I can get it to stick. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but Santa Baby, which is the base, is kind of sheer. I tried doubling it and I didn't really like it doubled. So now I'm just taking the smallest, tiniest strip of this to make it flat or straight. And then I'll take the thinnest little strip I can for his scarf. So these little pinkies are great for when you want to do little art things like this. And then I'm just going to put it right across his neck. And I'm going to leave a little bit hanging off. And then I'll take and I'll cross it so that it comes down. So you can tell it's a scarf. I think I made the hat a little thicker on one snowman than the other, which is a bummer. When they're really thin like this, they break easily, and sometimes you get little pieces stuck. And then just bring another little piece right down. And then you can make it however long you want. So now I have my two snowmen, and I can add their buttons and their nose and their eyes. But you can also just leave them like that if you want to. Sorry if I can make them focus. I like my stuff mirroring, so that's what I did, except obviously the hat is too big on one of them. Okay, so I have green for his buttons, since that's the smallest pen that I have. I believe when I did this, I tried to check a few other colors to see if I could use them for the buttons and the nose, but they're too big. Those tips are too big. That's the tip size you want right there. That's too big. And Sharpies work just fine. They don't have to be special markers. And I don't have a black tiny tip. I should probably find one. And I'm not going to put eyes because the hat is too low. So, but they do get buttons. I figured green was fine. It would match the buttons, would match the scarf and the hat. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing. My pen didn't want to write, so I had to rub it on some paper. And when I did that, my camera kind of flipped out a little bit. Also, when I applied my top coat, I didn't realize this until after I was done, but I smeared the buttons on one of my hands. So I'm not sure if the Sharpie wasn't dry yet or if it just does that. if you're not really careful with how you put it on. But that will go on that finger, and that will go on that finger, and I will fix my other fingers. And I think I wore this for another 3 or 4 days, actually. Thanks for joining me.